On 7's Gold Coast News, a putrid smell, Tallebudgera Creek closed after a sewage spill.
Bonnie MP Sam O'Connor takes the witness stand in Bruce Lerman's defamation trial.
Unusual morning fog blankets the Gold Coast. What caused it?
Christmas shopping on a budget, the tips and tricks to save money these holidays.
And a real-life Christmas Grinch strikes at Runaway Bay.
Live from the Gold Coast, 7 News with Amanda Abate and Steve Titmus.
Good evening, everyone. One of the Gold Coast's most popular swimming spots was closed today after sewage contaminated the creek.
It seeped in from a nearby plant, but some swimmers chose to ignore the warnings.
A holiday hotspot shut down.
You swim so at your own risk.
A sewage leak upstream on Sunday afternoon, closing down Tallebudgera Estuary at 9 a.m. this morning.
I don't feel that good now. I just found out over loudspeaker, so I'm a bit concerned.
Lifeguards patrolling the waterways, telling everyone to stay out. Swimmers blatantly ignoring the warning, these young kids oblivious to the danger. On a hot summer's day, it left the popular beach spot virtually empty.
We're advising people just for safety not to swim in there at the present time.
I feel that in this day and age, and the billions of dollars they spend on other things, we shouldn't have sewage leaks right here on the Gold Coast.
Yesterday, the spill was caught on camera.
The smell is insane.
A pipe from the Eleanor water treatment plant spewing untreated waste through the bush and directly into Tallebudgera Creek. Now it's a waiting game to see how far the sewage was pushed downstream.
Because that's our top priority at the present is safety for the community, plus our visitors.
Councillors told 7 News it doesn't know how much untreated sewage leaked into the waterways before the system was turned off.
Beachgoers shocked to be sent away.
We were pretty excited, hit the water. I suppose a bit of a shame, but there's plenty of other beautiful beaches on the Gold Coast.
Council is testing the water quality to determine if the potential threat remains at the popular swimming spot.
Beach closures remain in place tonight from Schuster's Park down to Tallebudgera Creek Beach, and swimmers are being advised to stay away until water quality tests return, and Council is saying those tests should return tomorrow morning. For the meantime, find another spot to cool off.
Danielle Bowen there at Tallebudgera Creek. Gold Coast MP Sam O'Connor has taken to the witness stand in Bruce Lerman's defamation trial. The member for Bonnie detailing conversations with Brittany Higgins, recalling the moment she told him she had been allegedly raped.
Heading into the federal court in Sydney, Gold Coast MP Sam O'Connor, the state member for Bonnie, a friend of Brittany Higgins. In the witness stand today, he gave evidence in the Bruce Lerman defamation case. The court heard she texted him in 2019 saying this super up thing happened a little while ago. O'Connor says he called her. She told me that he had taken her back to Parliament House and that he had raped her. I absolutely remember the word rape. That's not something that you forget. He gave evidence that she was a real go-getter. Her dream job was to be a press secretary, a media advisor in Canberra, and she was excited. But he told the court her demeanour changed after the alleged rape. She absolutely was different. She was a bit testier. We would sometimes have arguments over small things. About going public, O'Connor said she'd previously been concerned about the story getting out, but also detailed her desire for change to the culture around Parliament. The trial will continue tomorrow. Mel Whiteman, 7 Gold Coast News.
Gold Coast MP Megan Scanlon has been sworn into Stephen Miles' new ministry. Jordan Quinn, she's now one of the most senior members in Cabinet.
Amanda, the Gavin MP retains her role as Housing Minister but has taken on an extra 2 portfolios. The 30-year-old will now also become the Minister for Local Government and Planning as well as Public Works. It's a move the new Premier, Stephen Miles, believes will boost housing supply by streamlining the portfolios under one minister.
Today, one of my priorities will be making good decisions faster. We want to particularly unlock affordable housing and work with local government and industry to do that.
Our city also has a new tourism minister. Cairns MP Michael Healy has been given a promotion and also takes over the sports portfolio. He comes with 2 decades experience in the tourism industry. He'll be sworn in over the coming weeks once the flood emergency subsides in the far north.
Jordan Quinn with that report. A runaway Bay teenager arrested after a spree of break and enters has faced court for the first time. 37 Gold Coast businesses, including service stations and car yards, were targeted. 18-year-old Ben Thomas Johnson was one of 5 people arrested. He's facing a number of charges, including fraud and unlawful use of a motor vehicle. His case was adjourned until February.
A strange morning fog has blanketed Surfers Paradise, leaving residents baffled. Even the ocean couldn't be seen from some skyrise apartments, and it was all caused by an unusual combination of weather conditions.
Surfers Paradise, famous for its ocean views, but this morning sky rises were smothered as a thick blanket of sea fog swept in, cloaking the coastline.
We couldn't see the top of the towers.
The fog was right through the buildings.
This morning was crazy, like it was all foggy and you couldn't even see the ocean at one point.
For those on morning beach walks, there really wasn't much to see. The fog shrouding the city, blowing in over the Broadwater. It was an eerie sight at the marina.
At first I thought typhoon coming.
But the Weather Bureau says it was caused by a warm, humid air mass coupled with cold ocean temperatures, allowing moisture to condensate, creating this. But cleared after a few hours.
We've got high humidity, 98%, outside temperatures in the morning, 28, 29 degrees, and water temp, 19 degrees. Obviously evaporation gives you that water vapour, gives you sea fog.
An unusual weather event that was certainly a sight to see. Jordan Quinn, 7 Gold Coast News.
Quite incredible, wasn't it? Now to weather presenter Liz Cantor. And Liz, could we see more of this type of fog?
Yes, misty mornings on our beaches could continue. Over the weekend, the ocean temperature dropped back to around 19 to 20 degrees, which is cold for southeast Queensland. This is caused by a run of northerly winds, which encourages deeper ocean currents to rise. It also results in murky water near shore. What we need for conditions to improve is a shift in the wind direction or a clearing system, which is a weather event that has the ability to move on the pull of hot air that is lingering in our atmosphere. There is a glimpse of southerly winds on the forecast for this Friday. Until then, the risk of storms continues. I'll have more details later in the weather.
Okay, thank you, Liz. Well, we're on the final countdown to Christmas, but many Gold Coast families are struggling to stretch their budgets to make room for gifts and festive feasts. Tonight, 7 News speaks to shoppers and the experts about the best tips and tricks to make every dollar count.
Christmas shopping on a budget, and shoppers at Westfield Helensvale know where to find the bargains.
Target and Kmart. They're good for grandkids.
Been to Kmart and Target and they're always very competitive.
Mostly for my daughter, just for Christmas, from Kmart and Target.
The low-cost stores clear favourites to make the dollar stretch a little further.
We expected to spend about $30 billion over that Christmas season. That's about 10% above what we spent last year.
Consumers are still spending, even though times are tough, and there's ways to save.
At a budget, know what you want to spend and try to stick to that.
And if you must buy presents, find the best price possible.
Cutting back a lot, but yeah, still finding bargains.
I've got some really good bargains, jewellery, the discounts were really great.
So money can go towards the more important moments.
I have done a little bit of budget Christmas shopping, but in saying that, I'm going on a cruise with the family to Vanuatu and Noumea.
To start your new year with a bigger bank balance. Danielle Bowen, 7 Gold Coast News.
And I'm sure she will enjoy the cruise.
Sounds pretty nice.
Ahead, a Christmas present for motorists. Petrol prices predicted to fall when you should fill up.
Plus, a reindeer thief strikes in Runaway Bay.
And Santa swaps the snow for the sand at the Surfers Paradise Carols.
There is some cost relief for drivers this Christmas. The RACQ says petrol prices are falling across the coast. Currently, E10 can be bought for $1.72. 91 is 2 cents dearer.
It's really good news for motorists on the Gold Coast. Fuel prices there have been falling over the last few weeks, and we're entering the cheap phase of the cycle. So our advice is to head out and spot fuel stations charging for $1.75 or less for a litre of regular unleaded.
The RACQ says 65% of stations on the coast are charging $1.75 or less.
A high-tech remote-controlled drill has joined Council's arsenal as the city carries out repairs to damaged roads. Works to fix landslips are continuing in Currumbin Valley and Tallabudgera. Road closures remain in place. A list of impacted roads is available on Council's webpage.
The Gold Coast's very own Grinch has struck in Runaway Bay. The bold thief stole a reindeer from a shopping centre in broad daylight. The crime has left locals baffled, wondering if he'll strike again.
A real-life Christmas Grinch spotted. In high-vis and a broad-brimmed hat, the middle-aged man brought his own trolley and left the Runaway Bay shopping centre with a decorative reindeer on board.
Well, wasn't other people there? Why didn't they stop them?
Or question him when he loaded the festive decoration into the tray of his ute.
He must have needed the money. He must have needed it, mustn't he?
The light-up piece cost $4,000.
Just wanted it on his roof or something like that.
Freighted from Western Australia to brighten up the centre.
Well, he's obviously in the Christmas spirit. Maybe he's had too many spirits.
I can't believe how low people have become in our old age. When I was young, no one would steal anything like that.
Police say they're still looking for the thief, but this isn't the first time a Christmas Grinch has struck on the Gold Coast.
In 2021, another reindeer was ripped from a family's home in Upper Coomera. A year before that, this brazen thief stole a candy cane in Palm Beach. A string of crimes that will land you on Santa's naughty list. Sam Payne, 7 Gold Coast News.
Now to a good Christmas story. Santa swapped the snow for the sand at Surfers Paradise last night as more than 12,000 Gold Coasters packed the shoreline for the annual carols on the beach. Many more enjoyed the festive tunes from above. Families sang along to their favourite Christmas songs before the event ended with a fireworks finale. Santa's next stop is Currumbin for the community Christmas carols on Wednesday night. Very spectacular. You enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was fabulous. Loved every second.
Okay, Sally Pearson has all tonight's sport next.
Sal, the city's top swimmers are home.
Yes, and bracing for a big season ahead. Hello everyone. Coming up next, how the team's preparing for Paris. Plus, the Titans' biggest recruit makes a surprise arrival.
Tomorrow on Sunrise, the realities of life without cash. Predictions that Queensland will become a cashless society in as little as 2 years. So what does it mean for you?
Plus, we have your official Christmas forecast, a complete look at the week's weather ahead of the long weekend.
See you in the morning, Gold Coast.
In 7 News, the far north flood catastrophe, towns underwater.
Being on the roof at the moment is the safest location.
Hundreds of people rescued as rivers turn to raging torrents.
This event is not over. The risk remains.
How the Queensland spirit is still shining through. Special coverage, 7 News at 6.
July might feel like an eternity away, but it's fast approaching for our city's top swimmers, preparing for the Paris Olympics. The Gold Coast's elite athletes, eyeing Australian selection, are bracing for a busy new year.
Back from Brisbane, after impressing at last week's state titles, Team Griffith treated to a light training session in Southport this morning.
These next 2 weeks are a bit of an unload, and I think a lot of them want to get in and start working, but I'm trying to keep a lid on it.
Diving in before winding down briefly over Christmas, the squad said to enjoy an important break ahead of an exhausting but exciting year.
The Olympic year is like a circus year, really. We're really going from, say, February, March, April, May, the competition each month.
Each building towards the big one in July. Paris 2024 fast approaching. Tokyo's triple gold medalist is ready.
I've got a big target on my back after last Olympics. I'd like to say it's going to be a pretty good year, but I don't have a crystal ball. Like I said, you never know what can get thrown at you.
Olympic ambitions too for our other Gold Coast athletes. Lani Pallister putting the heartbreak of her Tokyo 2020 mission behind her.
Making the Olympics is something special in itself. It's a club that you can't really buy your way into and not many people have the opportunity to be a part of. So I guess that's the biggest goal this year, is to be able to walk in my mum's footsteps, make my first Olympic team.
The most decorated Aussie in Olympic history, Emma McKeon, kept away from the pool today. The 29-year-old still nursing a small tear to her armpit, resting and recovering before her Paris preparation continues. Liam Bland, 7 Gold Coast News.
Titans' new recruit Keenan Palacia is already in Des Hasler's good books. The former Bronco joined in on this morning's field session despite being due back to training in the new year. His early arrival isn't the only shake-up in the new era at Parkwood.
The biggest difference is probably just the details and everything we're doing. All the boys are getting so much out of it, even the younger boys who have just come into the NRL.
Palacia played 20 games for Brisbane this year, including their grand final loss to the Panthers. The Suns are winding down ahead of a short break over Christmas, but Ben Ainsworth isn't taking his foot off the gas. The forward's into his 8th pre-season at Carrara, but that won't be an excuse for complacency.
There's just a different feel about the place. Obviously, some new changes around the footy club. The inner sanctum's changed a little bit. I'll definitely be looking to prove myself in the pre-season and then as we work into the pre-season games and into the season.
The club's AFLW list is taking shape. 22 returning players are locked in for season 9. Looking forward to getting some footy on the TV.
Gee, well, the season will come around before you know it.
That's for sure.
Thank you, Sal.
Thank you.
An angler's catch of the day has fought back after being hooked at the Seaway. It happened when the fisherman and his partner were posing for photos with a 2-metre-long shovel-nosed shark and forgot to watch out for the tail. The angler making up for that moment with a quick kiss before the pair released the creature. Well, shovel-nose is its commonly used name. It's actually a guitar fish and not a shark. And they're often spotted around the Gold Coast Seaway entrance. But that doesn't make it hurt any less, I don't think.
No reason to give it a kiss either. Coming up soon in 7 News, more on the emergency flood situation in the far north, the rescues and latest on towns underwater. That's soon on 7 News.
And a first look at the Christmas Day forecast is coming up soon.
The disaster unfolding in North Queensland heads 7 News at 6. Tonight's with Katrina Blowers.
Steve, just ahead in the news at 6, the far north's worst flood in decades. Hundreds of people rescued as rivers turn to raging torrents.
This event is not over. The risk remains.
But the Queensland spirit is still shining through. We'll have special coverage. Also tonight, the new Miles Ministry, the winners and losers. New high-tech help making sure our deliveries arrive on time. The Southeast home with 2 helipads and 3 motocross tracks. Major supermarkets in a Christmas price war, and the IV therapy boom promising big health benefits. All those details ahead at 6.
Okay, thanks, Katrina. Weather time now, and gosh, Liz, it feels like we're in the middle of summer already. It's been hot, hasn't it?
Yes, Amanda, it's that type of heat where you walk outside and it just hits you. Heat wave conditions are easing back, but the humidity will still be high, so it's still going to feel hot and sticky for a few days at least. Right now at Burleigh Heads, it's 26 degrees with moderate winds from the north-northeast. Here's a closer look at today's temperatures. Coolangatta felt the heat overnight with 24 before a top of 30. A slightly cooler 29 at the Seaway thanks to the sea breeze. Further inland, 22 to 30 for Nerang. This afternoon, the risk of storms remains a threat, but they are more likely inland of the Gold Coast. Here you can see those building storms around the New South Wales border. Further north, the effects of ex-tropical cyclone Jasper are still being felt with drenching rain. Looking ahead, a trough is moving eastward with showers and rain ahead of it and cooler southerly winds behind it. This should reach us around Thursday or Friday this week. But tomorrow, another dry, hot day before possible afternoon showers. 22 to 29 for Burleigh and Robina, 23 to 30 for Coomera. For Surfers Paradise, sunrise 4:45 a.m. UV index extreme 23 to 29. On Gold Coast waters, another day of northeasterly winds, so we may see some misty conditions along our beaches early. Seas around a metre with low tide just after 6:30. And unfortunately for surfers, this run of northerlies is doing us no favours. Try the beach breaks from the Spit to Narrowneck or further south the Tweed coast. Swimming, check beach closure signs at Tallabudra due to possible water contamination. The easterly swell is consistent but really small around waist to chest high. The all-important outlook, a moderate southerly wind change Thursday should finally knock out some heat while driving in showers, a top of just 25 Friday. Then Christmas Eve, the chance of showers 21 to 29, and Christmas Day, a 70% chance of showers 21 to 32. There's still some uncertainty as to just how heavy falls will be around Christmas Day, but it is looking likely we'll get some wet weather. Keep Santa updated, Amanda and Steve.
It's looking like it'll be hot too. All right. Thanks so much, Liz, and thank you for joining us this evening.
We'll be back, of course, tomorrow night with more Gold Coast news at 5:30. On behalf of the team, have a wonderful night. Good night.